time of the Messiah. The prophet Daniel knew by way of the scripture how many days until the Messiah would come. And how did Daniel know those things? Because the Hebrews kept the lunar calendar. They knew by the cycles of the lunar calendar, which was 30 days basically for every month. And that is how they counted out. And they knew by the sun, the moon, and the stars at the times and the seasons in which would occur. Daniel chapter 9 verse 1 and 2 says, "In the first year of Darius, the son of Ahasuerus, the seed of the Medes, which was made king over the realm of the Chaldeans, in the first year of his reign, I, Daniel, understood by the books the number of the years, whereof the word of the Lord came to Jeremiah the prophet, that he would accomplish 70 years in the desolations of Jerusalem." So Daniel knew by the counting of the scriptures the number of the years, right, until the Messiah would come and everything else. And we know that the people, that the three wise men who came to Christ, came out from the east, obviously had influence and inspiration and instructions that were handed down by Daniel to them in that time that they would end up knowing when the Messiah would come. And they used the sun, the moon, and the stars, and found the stars' alignments and based on the number of days in the Hebrew calendars. Matthew chapter 2, verse 1 through 3 says, "Now when Jesus was born in Bethlehem of Judea in the days of Herod the king, behold, there came wise men from the east of Jerusalem, saying, Where is he that is born King of the Jews? For we have seen his star in the east, and are come to worship him. When Herod the king had heard these things, he was troubled, and all Jerusalem with him." As we've covered before, they saw the star, and they came. They saw the star, which is Venus, and they saw the conjunction of Saturn, Mars, and Jupiter coming to Venus, and that's why three wise men came. They were reflective of those three stars who came to Venus, and that's how they knew by the time and the signs of the seasons, through the stars and the counting of the moons, how many days until the Messiah would be revealed, and they saw the star in the sky, which gave them the time of the Messiah's birth. The same occurs in the end times. And the same likeness will occur in the end times, and we will know the amount of days until the Messiah by the counting of the moons, and we'll end up seeing that same sign at the end of those 1260 days after counting of the moon. In the sky, we'll see the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. Revelation chapter 11 verse 3 gives us an amount of days. It says, "And I will give power to my two witnesses, and they shall prophesy 1,260 days clothed in sackcloth." The 1260 days of prophesying until the Messiah comes. And the woman goes out into the wilderness for that period and waits for the Messiah to descend over the camp for those same 1260 days, which is 1,260 days. Revelation chapter 12 verse 6 says, "And the woman fled into the wilderness where she had the place prepared of God, that they should feed her there 1,260 days." And these are the wise virgins who go out to meet the bridegroom. Matthew chapter 25 verse 1 and 2. "Then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins, which took their lamps, and went forth to meet the bridegroom. And 5 of them were wise, and 5 were foolish." And we know that the 1260 days are 42 months of moon cycles of 30 days. So it's accounting from one moon to the next moon, which is 30 days, in which there's 1260 of those days, which means there's 42 months. And therefore, we're counting numbers of days based upon the lunar calendar, in which we'll know the time of the Messiah, just like Daniel the prophet knew by way of the number of days in the scripture. And the wise men, the wise virgins, know by the signs of the sun, the moon, and the stars in which it was given. And Christ comes out when the sun, the moon, and the stars have been blackened. And so there will be a sign in the sky that we see, which is Christ coming out with 3 angels. The sign of the Son of Man, Venus, the bright morning star, and 3 stars, which are 3 angels coming out with him, which form the Venus conjunction at the end of those 1260 days. Revelation chapter 14, verse 14 says, And I looked, and behold, a white cloud, and upon the cloud one sat like unto the Son of Man, having on his head a golden crown, and in his hand a sharp sickle. Then the Son of Man comes following with 3 angels coming to him. Revelation chapter 14, verse 15 and 17 and 18. "And another angel came out of the temple, crying with a loud voice to him that sat on the cloud, Thrust in thy sickle and reap, for the time is come for thee to reap, for the harvest of the earth is ripe. And another angel came out of the temple, which is in heaven, he also having a sharp sickle. And another angel came out from the altar, which had power over fire, and cried with a loud cry to him that had the sharp sickle, saying, Thrust in thy sharp sickle, and gather the clusters of the vine of the earth, for her grapes are fully ripe. So we see here at the end of those 1260 days, counting by the moon cycles, that we end up seeing a sign in heaven when the heavens are made black. And the only thing you see, like the bright morning star, the first star that appears in the morning in the darkness, is Christ appearing. And then we see 3 stars with him, which are 3 angels coming out to reap. The sign of the Son of Man in heaven is seen. In the same likeness in which Daniel had shared about the knowing of the days, and how the wise men knew when the time of the Messiah would arrive, based upon the lunar calendar countings of the years and the signs in the sun and the moon and the stars. Revelation chapter 2, verse 26 through 28. And he that overcometh to keep my works until the end, to him will I give power over the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron. As the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I received of my Father, and I will give him the morning star. Those who overcome the temptation to break the law, those who keep the law, the commandments of God, and have the testimony of Jesus Christ, are the woman in Revelation chapter 12, verse 17, who go out to meet him. They overcome the temptation of the serpent to break the commandments. Revelation chapter 12, verse 17 says, and this is the woman that goes out into the wilderness, and she keeps the commandments of God and has the faith and testimony of Jesus Christ. She's overcome, and she will be given that bright morning star out in the wilderness, which is Christ descending like Venus in the dark. Revelation chapter 22, verse 16 says, I, Jesus, have sent mine angel to testify unto you these things in the churches. I am the root and the offspring of David, the bright and morning star. So based upon the scripture, we know the events of Daniel, that the number of days will be written, we can look to, and that the Hebrew calendar and the counting of the moon, like the wise men, will know the times based upon the calculations, and we will end up seeing that sign of Venus and the 3 stars aligning in the end after those days. We will know the time of the Messiah, and this is the prophecy of the time of the Messiah.